will be in the YouTube channel. Okay, so over back to you.
Okay, thank you, Kak. So what? Okay, community project. So which means we form the students into small groups, and then they choose what they're going to do for their project. It could be a very simple service, and then all the processes like discussion, and they performing the service, as well as uh, organize them into a simple report. All these things are the end product of the community service, and after that they will present that. As Puan Rodia said, we have a competition for them, and they will present during the competition, and we reward. And those sometimes we select the winners. Sometimes we give certificates to all the participants to encourage them for the effort in doing the service. Right. So yes, this is one of the best collaborative tasks that we have been doing here for pre-university learners, and it is also suitable for all level of students, I guess. Even it can be done in primary school, it can be done in secondary school. It is just giving the students the ownership for what they are learning. For they are responsible for what they are learning. Okay, this is what I can see. Okay, when we are talking about students' ownership increases. Okay, I have a question on that. At the pre-university level, our students are given opportunities to plan and organize, monitor their own work. As one Ma said that she was talking about a block, reflective learning. They are giving their comments and so on, and also community service. As Puan Rodia said that they choose, they do, they justify, right? Okay, and do you agree that when we provide students with time and space to be aware of their own knowledge and their own thinking, students' ownership increases? Puan Rodia?
Yes, I do that. Mic is on. Can you hear me again? Something wrong with the mic. I believe yes. I already agree, because they know that they are the one who are doing it from scratch, and they know that they put a lot of effort into it, and at the same time, at the end of the day, you can see a lot of feedback given by the students that they enjoyed what they're doing. In fact, they come up with ideas. Madam, can we do forum? Rather than doing community service, there's one student of mine who asked me to come up with a forum. Same thing, the same way of doing it, but they turn it into a forum where they wanted to discuss issues, and they become the panels. And you'll be shocked on their progress, which I didn't even have the slightest idea that they come up with such a marvelous forum. I even have a video based on that. So later we can share with the other viewers if you have to look at it. So I strongly believe that from the beginning, I strongly believe that students should be made responsible for their own learning. So the ownership must be there. Like, if you force them, like, they don't see the ownership. Why should I do it? Why should I study? Why should I do this? So if you give the priority for them to choose, how you're going to do it, in what means am I going to do it, so they'll be more into it, they'll be more engaged, they're more active on producing whatever they're doing. That's how I believe.
Okay, yeah, very good. The forum, the idea of having forum in classroom, it's really an attractive tool for teaching various skills. Okay, fine. But Puan Rodia, when come to forums, it is towards promoting higher order thinking skills. Okay, if you say your students, how you prepare your students for this kind of um, activities, learning activities, which acquire them to have higher order thinking skills. This thing will not be the same as how the activities, the speaking activities we are conducting normally in our classroom, right? It has certain standards if you were to conduct forums. So could you please share how you make it easy, the forums, conducting forums easily in your classroom? That might be help us as well. And many of the users there.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kumu. Before I go further into that forum itself, we have to start from the very basic. So I would like to share, okay, before we can start any forums, the most important thing is the content, right? They need to read. They need to read a lot, extensively. Okay, how do I encourage reading is very important. Wait, it's not, mouse is giving me problem. Hold on, Okay, okay. So what I normally do is before we start any forum or whatever activities, I still believe that we have to encourage students to read, not the normal way of teaching reading. So what I normally do is I promote reading. I call it as PG method or perusal method. Okay, perusal means reading carefully, looking for the specific information and so on. Okay, so by using this technique, actually I'm introducing infographics, okay, incorporated with the digital tools like Telegram, Google Docs or Padlet, and okay, we hold on for a while. So we have two phases in doing this. The first phase, what I do is I give them 1 week, okay, 1 week for them to read, okay, anything. They can read anything because I don't want to control them. So I just want them to have the interest of reading first. If a normal reading comprehension, we have no choice. We just give them the text and then ask them to read either silently or loudly, and then they have to answer the comprehension question. That's the old method or the traditional or conventional way. So what I normally do is I don't do that. That will be on testing. Okay, what I normally do is to encourage them to read, because I noticed that without reading, they can't discuss matters, if anything. They can't do well in speaking and also in reading comprehension itself. So I divided my method into two. Sorry. Okay, this is samples of students' infographic for you to have a look. Okay, but before that, okay, I introduce the first phase. The first phase here, we introduce Canva infographic. Maybe they do not know what is Canva infographic. Actually, it's very simple. You can get it free. You just need to Google Canva, and there's a lot of templates there, more than 600 templates free. Then you create a Telegram group for the class or a palette wall. Okay, for example, if you have 5 students in that group, or you have 10 students in that group, you can have a bigger group if you want. You want to have the whole tutorial group, also fine. No problem with that. And then you told the students, read one article in that particular week. Any article that they like to share later on with their friends. Okay, so all of them read one article. After they have read, they share the link in the Telegram group. After they shared the link, what they're supposed to do here, they have to summarize or find important points that they would like to share in their infographics, because infographics, you cannot have everything inside infographics. So what they have to do is to share the notes or summarize what they have read in the infographic. Why infographic? Because it'll be more interesting to see infographics than to see the long text. That's why I use infographics. After they have done the infographics, they'll share the infographics in the group, and everybody will read each other's infographic. And if they want to read further, they can go to the link shared in the Telegram or the Padlet wall. And at the same time, students can give comments on their they can give comments on their peers' infographics or even the articles. Okay, that's the first phase. First phase is more like giving them free to read whatever they like. Then after that, they share. Say these are samples of infographics shared by the students. It can be about anything. Here they talk about 5 steps to choose the right car. So this boy must be interested in about cars, so he shared about that. And this student shared about there's a magic in your smile. So it's up to them whatever they want to share. So it's very interesting. So we just want to arouse the students' interest of reading first at the first phase. Then the second phase. Then here we are more focused in the sense that we give them a topic. For example, we divide the student 3 to 4 students or even 5, it's up to you how you want to do it. We assign each group with one topic. Okay, for example, you want to talk about environment issue, so they choose environment issue. So that group will talk about environment issue. So they have to read articles connected to environment issues. Okay, they can have a subtopic on environmental issues like deforestation, wildlife, bushfire, and so forth. So meaning one group, one team, and they discuss the topic, subtopic. So each one of them will contribute on the subtopic. Okay, then after they have done that, they have read, they shared, again the same thing, they shared in the group, in the Telegram group, the link, so that the others can have a look at the whole text. And after they have done that, they shared their infographic. They turn into infographic. Each one will make, for example, if 5 groups, 5 members in a group, so 5 infographics based on one theme. Okay, then what they do here, if you notice here, while before coming up with the articles, they have to Google for the articles related to their team. Here they have to read, right? Then they have to identify main and supporting details from articles, because they have to know. They cannot simply take everything. So they have to look at what are the main and the supporting details. And then at the same time, they have to choose a template which they think that will be suitable for their team. The background of the template, they have a lot and beautiful templates you can find from Canva infographic. It's free. And then they share their individual infographics in the tutorial Telegram channel. You can name the channel whatever way you want. Okay, so it's up to you. So up to the group or to the lecturers to come up with one channel where the students share everything in one channel. Okay, then okay, the next step is students read each other's infographics and gather various information about the team assigned to their group. So here you notice that the students read based on one team, but with various subtopics. So they are more thorough in their reading. It's not just why we are doing this, because we have problems. I'm not sure about the others, but we have problems when they are writing essays. They are not able to give good points, good examples, because lack of reading. By doing these activities, they read about the thing thoroughly, and each members know about the topic well. When we share with the others in the channel or in the Telegram group, the others are also learning about other people's things. So you imagine. So imagine if we have 4 teams, that means the students in 1 week, or you give time 1 or 2, they can cover 4 teams at one time. So sorry. Okay. At the same time, they can comments or give suggestions to whatever their friends infographics. Here you notice that students later on, when they come up with, everybody come up with their own subtopic, with their own infographic and so on, they sit down again and discuss in their group and come up with only one infographic based on that particular theme that covers all the topics or whatever information that they want to share with us. It's the beauty part of it, where everybody they come up with one infographic and they share single infographics, which later they're going to present. Here is where the presentation part will come in. So when they present their single infographic, they can present it, what they do in all presentations. So all the group members will be in front, and they take turns to present, okay, by using their one single infographic based on the theme or the topic that they are going to share. And here you can also adapt this this activity by doing it in terms like a forum. the same team, but you have divided them into different subtopics, and you can also present it in a forum format. But I have tried it with forum and also normal oral presentation, means group presentation. And I noticed that students are able to talk with relevant ideas and so on, not just like that they cannot come up with a good supporting details and so on. So here, by doing this activity, actually we are helping the students to write later on. Okay, here I just want to share what they are doing. You see, I took them to the language lab. So happened the class is in the language lab, but you don't worry, we can have it not in a normal tutorial class because all of them are having the smartphone, so they can use their smartphone. Okay, here we give tutorial to the students just in case if they don't know. But for your information, students can catch up very fast. You just need to tell them. In fact, they learn more than I do. Some of the things like they told me that using Canva infographics, there's a part where you can check even your spelling and your sentence structures and so on, which I didn't even know. This is ventured by my students. So this is something that I find that it's good to introduce these to students. They are better off than us, believe me. And then this is what they're doing. They are working in groups. So each group given a team, everybody is, you can see them actively looking for what are their parts that they need to read and so on. They're using Google. Okay. And then they transfer their information, okay, using infographic, using the Canva templates. They choose which templates they like. They feel that's suitable with their topic, up to them. And then here we can see that the students discuss and collected crucial information by individual infographics to come up with one. Collect all the infographics from their group members and come up with one single for their presentation. Here you can see that they have come up with one single infographic and they presented during my class. Okay, they can either present it during your class on using this group presentation, or you can even have a forum based on the team. Okay, but the format will be different. If you are going to have a forum, then you have to have the moderator and you have to have the panels. Okay, and I'm sure you all know what is the format of a forum. So it's all up to us how we're going to do it. But I was looking at the new norm now, the Google Meet. You can even use the Google Meet for them to present your team. Okay, sorry, to present their oral presentation. So they can make a Google Meet and present it in the meet. Okay, so there's a lot of ways that we can do it. This is just one example that we can do. Okay, this is what I believe now. When we want them to be what is it just now Kumo was saying about how we can make the students actively involved in reading. For me, reading is very important because through reading then the students can develop in their essays and so on, because at this level they need to write a good essay with good facts and not simply giving their own points, like narrating is different, but ours is an argumentative essay. When argumentative essay, you have to have facts to argue your points and so on. So by encouraging students to read, so this will help them later in their essays. And I've been doing this for the past 2 years and keep on upgrading whatever I'm doing. And I find that it is really helping the students to read. They like to do this. They enjoy doing it. It's no more like a boring kind of reading activities. And for your information, I also shared it with the other lecturers and other teachers out there, because especially science subject, you have, for example, a topic like cell. You can ask the students to find information about cell, in a group. You don't need to teach them yet, like a flipped classroom. You tell them, okay, tomorrow I want you to, or not tomorrow, maybe you give them 1 week, okay, or 4 or 5 days. Look up for information about this topic, microorganism, for example. And then the students themselves go and find out about that topic and share it with us. So our job here is not exposing to the topic yet, but we facilitate the findings. So the students come, they teach us or teach their group, their friends on that particular topic. And you realize that when they are doing it themselves, believe me, they'll definitely understand the topic better and they can do well in the exam, rather than we give them the notes and then they have to memorize and then again pour out later on in the exam. So I believe when by doing this, it really helps. It's not just for English, it can be for other topics, anything at all. In fact, we have shared with Dinamika and even science lecturers. And then I feel that for science especially, a lot of theories and then things to remember and so on, when they transfer whatever information into infographics and they retell it, they will remember better. Okay, that's all, Miss Kumu. Puan Mas can add it to what I've said if you have anything else. Thank you.
Okay, right. Okay, Puan Rodia has given such a very long explanation on using infographic, Padlet, Canva. Okay, that is, I mean, it's very good that everyone can follow, can start doing it, yeah. And I also would like to share something that I've done with my student. Okay, so as for my part, I will go a little bit at a okay, at the workplace. All right, so now let's have a look. Okay, hold on, yeah. Okay, right. So I'm going to share with everyone something that I've done using Facebook page. Yeah, Facebook page. All right. Okay, let's see. Okay, can you? Is it there? The Facebook page. All right. Okay, so this is my Facebook page, and some people say that when I first introduced this and I shared this in my YouTube channel, they were like, "Oh, we have been using Facebook, but we have never used Facebook page." All right, so this is something new, and some people say that, okay, yeah, we have been using Facebook page, but for other purposes like business and sharing hobbies and things like that. All right, but never use Facebook page for teaching and learning. All right, and I'm glad that whatever I'm sharing with the viewers have some good impact on them. Okay, effect on them. All right, so let's have a look at this Facebook page of mine. So I name it as Fun Learning with Madam Mas. All right. Okay, so this page actually is open for public. Okay, is it? Does it appear on the screen? Yeah, the page. Okay. All right. So I just have show you one sample here. All right. This one was posted on May 28th. Okay. This is a simple one. I don't like to put pressure on students or viewers. Okay. But still, when they do this, they are learning something. Okay. Okay. So this one on 28th of May. Assalamualaikum viewers. Let's talk about what we have in our kitchen. This one was during MCO. Yeah. The picture below is just an example. You can use other food or stuff in your kitchen to create your simple sentences. You can start with one sentence and we will continue. Let me start first. All right, so let's have a look at this one. I just snapped the veggies in my chiller. Okay, something just to share with the viewers. All right, let's look at the comments. Even parents out there, you can start this to encourage your student to to encourage your children to write in English. Okay. All right. Now, Ikhlas Shazmin said, "Well done, Ikhlas." He answered something. Okay, tomatoes are good for our skin. All right, and then I will reply. Well done, Ikwan. Thank you very much, and keep creating more beautiful sentences. All right. I love green vegetable the most. All right. So for us, we need to encourage our children, our students to start writing and stress-free. For me, I don't like to put pressure on students or even our kids. Yeah, and in this Facebook page, I'm very happy that my friends at college, they really encourage the children to join. Yeah, and then whenever I posted something, they will ask their children to respond, yeah, and I will take some time to reply. Okay, and here also I have shared whatever I've posted or published in my YouTube channel. So if you can't access to my YouTube channel, you can always access to my Google Classroom or even to the Facebook page. Yeah, and then okay, this is one of the project done by the students, and as I've mentioned earlier, I always like to share whatever they have done with me in class or outside class in my on my social media. Yeah, and then you know, when your face are on Facebook, on Instagram, students like used to use Instagram, right? Okay, they're very happy. Yeah, and then they start asking friends to like, to give comments and things like that. And when the friends write something on whatever they are doing on their activities, they start responding. Okay, so in a way, actually, we encourage them to write something. Okay, in English, of course, because I'm teaching English. Okay, and even in my no, I mentioned just now in my blog, okay, in my Google Classroom, in my what do you call that, in my Facebook page, most of the comments will be in English, because our objective is very clear, to encourage our students or even our kids to write in English. Because you talk in Bahasa Melayu, you are born in Malaysia, most of us, ya, dah pandai dah, okay, but in English we really have to encourage them, to motivate them. Yeah, so we start from small steps, going to a bigger steps, and gain some confidence. All right, and then okay, in my page, okay, I sometimes publish some videos. Okay, it cannot be seen now. Videos or songs. Okay, and then we will ask the students or the viewers or the what do you call that, the children, yeah, to sing along and start writing lyrics. Okay, lyrics, and then after sometimes I will share the full lyrics, yeah, with the students or with the viewers, and we check, yeah, and then plus points, they will be rewarded. Okay, so that is my way. We encourage the viewers out there to start writing, to start communicating in English in a very simple way, but it shows some effect on them. Okay, all right. So I think that's all for this one. Okay, back to you.
Thank you, Thomas. Your reflective blog and also your Facebook page really encouraging the students to write. Okay, but I back to your tagline.
Berlatar aja.
Lasa aja. Okay, lasa aja. So students now, I can see that students now have started writing. But how do you current on best practices in teaching quality writing? Because when it comes to language, language features such as grammar, sentence structure, etc. They are inseparable, you see. They cannot be separated from one another. But here, your tagline says that write, write, and write. And how far they write uh, on how they supposed to write to be a level. So, Puan Mat, please explain to us in which stage you are starting to teach them the quality of writing, and how much impact it has given, the practices that you have used to teach quality writing among your students have brought in some impact that you have anticipated. Thank you for that.
Okay, right. To answer that, okay. as I have explained earlier, just now, I use social media, I use Google Classroom, I use blog, right? And then I also use Facebook page. Okay, so we have to really know when we need to use the tagline of Belasa Aja. Okay, so for Belasa Aja means that you have to start writing something. Okay, you have to really start writing something, and you really have to start speaking. If not, you won't start anywhere. That's my point. Okay, all right. So start reading, start writing, start speaking. Okay, but of course we are focusing on WET. We are at the Matriculation College. We are focusing on WET, and we are preparing the students for future purposes. Okay, for their work-wise and for the formality and things like that. So they need to be well versed of the language. That is undeniable. Okay, so in class, I use Google Classroom. So I would like to highlight here my Google Classroom. I have divided into two versions. All right, version 1 is for the student. Yeah, so this one is more on the formal thing. Yeah, they will write their text, their essay, and post in the Google Classroom. And of course, I will check. Of course, they have to adhere to the grammar, the structure, and the whatnot. Right? Isn't it? That is a must. Okay, but in order to not to let them to be so stressful when it comes to learning English, right? We add with the global Google Classroom. Yeah, global Google Classroom, where the materials that I posted and I will always post in the global classroom, Google Classroom, will be more on the less text. Okay, something that you can always write freely. Okay, but knowing our students or even our friend also, they won't really write just like that, because they know they are writing for audience. Yeah, they are writing for audience. Even if you write for your own lecturer or your own teachers also, you will try not to write like bodoh-bodoh macam tu. Okay, you will always present what is the best that you can present. Okay, so the tagline of Belasa Aja tu is actually to start off motivating the students, my students. And to answer what Madam Kumu has asked just now, how far has this technique, okay, of using my blog, my what do you call that, my Google Classroom, my Facebook page has impact, yeah, the students? Alhamdulillah, we can say, and Alhamdulillah, yeah, I can say that I've been with them for one semester and followed to another semester. So two semesters, we can see the difference in their writing and also the confidence in their speaking skills. And for this, and just very happy to share that all these the best practices that I have invented or I have mentioned to, I always turn it into an innovation. Yeah, a mini innovation or a very a vast innovation, and I will bring them to. I always bring them to innovation competition, and very happy to say also that we don't come back empty-handed. Alhamdulillah, and even Puan Rodia and Madam Kumu also, they are doing the same thing, and very happy to say, and I would like to encourage the other educators and outsiders, educators out there, try and do something which is, you can say it in very small steps, langkah kecil dulu, all right, and then you can grow and start growing and accumulate more information and get more knowledge to share, to present. Yeah, and of course, it will benefit our student and ourselves as well. Okay, all right. Yeah, okay, Madam Kumu.
Sorry, just to add on to what Puan Mas said, Lasa.
Okay, the same thing with me. What we normally do is, for example, I ask the students to actually you ask the students to write in Google Classroom. The same thing. I use Google Classroom and I use Telegram. I use Telegram because Telegram is the fastest feedback. They can immediately give me the feedback. So at the beginning, we noticed that they give very simple what comments like good, clear, understand, all those things. But you realize when you keep on doing this as a habitual kind of activities where they have to do it every time when certain activities that we have conducted in the class, you realize that they are slowly beginning to write more. They give more comments and justify their comments and so on. So I agree with Puan Mas. At the beginning stage, we let them be, write whatever they like, because not all students are good. So by allowing them and not correcting them, at that moment, we don't correct them in terms of their sentence and so on. Maybe what I normally do, I don't correct them, but I rephrase their sentences and share it in the group. So somehow or rather, they realize that actually that is not the right way of saying it, but I didn't put it as wrong. So I think that is the way to motivate them to write, because it's not easy. Even though they are at this level, we thought they are good, but when they come to us, we can say that they are just about Form 5 or below Form 5 level in terms of proficiency. Okay, okay, Puan Mas, you want to say something? Thank you.
Okay, yes, I agree. I really agree with what Parodi has said just now, that we don't uh, instantly correct them or sort of like penalize them, yeah, when they write wrongly. Yeah, I did that the same thing. I did the same thing. I will always call them, okay, just let them just write, okay? And then using Google Classroom, we can always correct personally, right? We have been using Google Classroom. Okay, we can just write personally, correct personally, and then return the piece of essay or the piece of paragraph to the student personally. Okay, but I strongly believe that we cannot or we shouldn't demotivate the students or even the viewers outside there, or even our friends who are actually learning English, by straight away saying that, okay, this sentence is wrong, all right? You shouldn't you shouldn't write like this, okay? Because those days when I was teaching also, not to say where I'm teaching, okay, but here in matriculation, maybe, yeah, I did the same thing, okay. Then I realized that I shouldn't do that, because sometimes people are very sensitive. Yeah, they're very sensitive. You straight away condemn them. Okay, your sentence is not good, and with lots of red pen marking them. Okay, that will demotivate them. So what I always do with my student is, just let them do first. Just let them write. Okay, express themselves and reflect on what they have been doing. Okay, on the projects, on the lesson learned on that day. Okay, just encourage. For me, motivation and encouragement are two most important factors for us to improve or encourage or motivate our students. The second, language learner, that is very important. Okay, let's go.
Right.
Right.
One more,
One more,
one more, yeah.
I couldn't agree more with what you have said. Yeah. So, if you see, from secondary school, we are receiving our learners here to pre-university level. When we receive, the strategies, the teaching manner, probably the pedagogical approaches could be so different for the students who are, coming from secondary school. The pattern could be so different. And as you said at the beginning part, we have to encourage them to write instead of writing a quality piece of writing. Yes. So that's why when we have started to drill them on quality writing at the beginning, that's where the students are affected by writing apprehension. They stop writing, they have mental block, they can't think, They can't generate ideas. They can't explain their point of view effectively. But at the beginning, when we give exposure on leisurely writing, like Pandodia has shared on collaborate, CRR technique, collaborate, reflect, and reading and reflect, yeah, reflecting technique is already something that they write for their pleasure. You know, we are encouraging them to write for pleasure. Even Puan Ma's blog and Facebook page, yes, she already mentioned that she encouraged them to write, and also Puan Rodia's infographics. She never said that I'm looking into the language categories, arts, and etc. I just want them to transfer the information from other sources into infographics. That already shows that when they have already started writing, it becomes a practice of writing. Later part, the fluency will help them to go into a quality writing. That's what I could see from the best practices shared by these two presenters. Okay, now I think we have missed something. Not really missed, but we haven't touched mainly on speaking part. If you see, this is also an issue in even in any level of students. Many new language learners, language learners especially, go through a silent period. This could be an issue in any types of classroom, in any level of the learning, uh, any level of learning, could be primary, secondary, or pre-university level. I already mentioned that earlier, yes. But however, we cannot force them to talk if they don't want to. That's where they are caught by this speaking anxiety. You know, they can't talk. We cannot force them to talk. Okay, so since we are talking about innovations, new strategies that are occurring all the time, how do you find in trying something new could impact the students' speaking ability? Pandodia, do you have any idea on any of your best practices that could help the students to improve their speaking ability?
Yeah, that's the toughest part of when we're talking about speaking, because the thing is when we talk about speaking, the problem with students is they feel that they need to when they are speaking they must speak perfectly without any grammatical errors and a good way of speaking in short we are trying to say here. But that is the thing here. When we want to encourage them to talk, we just allow them to say whatever they want for the very beginning. So what I normally do, you can start. I think everybody have done that. You can do a 5 minutes talk, okay, on whatever topic. They go to the front and they share, okay, that 5 minutes talk. But when we are focusing on what I normally do, I just want to share here is I use video, because some students they're very shy when they're speaking in front of the teachers or in front of their friends and so on, because not all students are the same. So to avoid this shyness, so I ask them to record. So they record, for example, before this, oh yeah, I just need to share. I also have a checklist. This is a project done by me and Puan Kumu a few years back. In order to give a guide to the weaker students on how to speak and so on, we have this checklist. So we prepare like turn taking. What must you say? Good greeting, for example, good morning, so and so. Okay, we are here today to discuss or to talk about what. So all these guidelines are given together with the phrases and examples on the turn taking and so on. So they practice using this checklist for the weaker students for the start. And what they not do is after that, they will do this on your own. Means they recorded, okay, their individual presentations or the group presentations. After they have recorded, they'll share this this video either in the Padlet, or they share it in the Google Classroom, or even in the Google Doc. So it depends on how we want it. The most important thing is we share it. What I normally do from the at the earlier stage is I ask them, guide them, give them the checklist. They start practicing on their own, and I choose Like in my class, I choose 1 or 2 individual presentation or group presentation, and we view it together in the class. Okay, we project it and we all of us have a look at it. And the comments will be given by the students, not me. Let the students give their comments. They give whatever they want to say. They can say anything about their friends, but must be positive. How to improve their friends' speaking skills. Okay, maybe they can say, oh, the points is not fully developed, or we don't understand what does the speaker means by this, and so forth. So you notice that this can be done using Padlet wall, or even you can use Telegram. Immediately they can give comments during the presentation, meaning that I'll show the presentation, the students speaking video, and the students then give comments on the Telegram or on the Padlet. So there the students can see or help their friends to overcome their weaknesses. Okay, first stage. After a few practice and so on, they are good, they can do on their own. What you can do is you give them a question to do, and each group will give a different question. They'll do their own video and they share it with us. And there we can see that from my experience, by doing this, we I can say that we can really don't have to spend a lot of time, because we have problem, especially matriculation. We only have 3 hours of teaching and we have to cover so many things. So by doing this on their own, that means non-face to face, we can do a lot of practice. We don't have to waste time. In a normal class, you see, we have to concentrate on those groups. So it takes a lot of time. You can't finish. Like if you have 4 groups, it takes about at least a week to cover everything, to check on their the students speaking practice. So by asking them to do in the video form, we can really check the students practice often, and they can do it as many as they like. Some even personally give it to me because they want to see what is their weaknesses and so on, ask for my comments and so forth. So I believe that by using video, self video, it really save a lot of time and give more practice for the students in their speaking, especially for those who are scared to speak, oral apprehension, who are very scared to speak with their friends and so on. Slowly they can gain confidence through this. I can share with you some of the videos produced by my students. Okay, this is one group. Okay, that's one group presentation. We have individual. This done individually. This is a very shy boy.
Sorry, cannot see on screen.
Oh, cannot see on screen. Why can't see on screen? Can you do something about it? Wait, I'll try to do something. Why can't see on screen? They can't see on screen. Okay, if you realize this boy, he can't speak well, but he's trying, okay, through his video. He's a very shy boy. So and you can see the progress of your students through the video sent to you. For the first video until the 5th video, you can see the difference. A lot of changes, especially for the individual presentation, for the weaker students. For the good students, we have no problem. And even for the group presentation, we can see that they are able to do a better turn taking and so on. Okay, so that's why I believe that when they videotape self video will help them to see their weaknesses. Okay, they themselves will give comments, they laugh about it, and they don't feel shy because they talk about their own weaknesses, and then they feel proud of telling, oh, I should have done this, and they laughed about it. So we can't see all this if we have the actual practice in the classroom. So by doing this, I feel that, they have more practice, they are more confident. At the same time, when I did the quiz with them, speaking quiz with them, they perform better from the earlier on. So that's why I feel that, it does help them. But now with the new norm, I think we can also, the best way is to use the Google Meet. Somebody suggested just now in the chat. I totally agree with you. We can use Google Meet for our speaking practice nowadays, because during my time, we don't have Google Meet. So this is something new. During the new MCO, I also started learning about Google Meet and so on. So I think we should encourage students to speak using all these tools, rather than a normal practice in the class. In the class, we just teach them how to go about it, the organizations, the phrases, and so forth. How is it to be tested? But the practice should be done in this manner, so we can see enough practice done. Okay, thank you. Anything else to add, Mas?
I think one month add some strategy of speaking as well.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I'm happy to share some of the activities that I have done with my student regarding speaking, focusing on speaking, but of course it is interrelated. Yeah, also after the speaking part, they will do the writing part. Yeah, all right. So if you can see here on the screen, does it appear on the screen? Okay. All right.
Sorry, Mas.
Okay, sorry. All right. Is it there? Can you see? Yes.
That
Okay.
cannot see it yet.
Cannot see yet. All right. Laza, is that you? All right.
No.
So no, still no. Okay. Let's present. Okay. All right. Okay, so we go back to my blog. Okay, these are my, what do you call that, orang kuat lah, will always help me with these strategies. Right, so because whatever I've done, it will be there in my blog. Yes?
Not yet.
Not yet. Can I be seen? Okay. Is it there?
No.
Nope. Okay, right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Now can be seen. Yeah.
Still no slide.
Does it appear?
No, it doesn't appear yet.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Okay,
It's,
because I
it's
already
appearing.
showed
It's appearing now.
All right, thank you, Naza. All right, okay. So you can see here, fun learning in ESL classroom. All right, so you can see also these are idioms, very familiar to us, but sometimes not so familiar to the students, right? So for a start, I will always provide them with the idioms, yeah? And then once they are sort of like familiar with types of idioms and various idioms and all that, I will ask them to come up with their own, I mean, not to come up with their own idioms, but they will have to find their idioms. All right. So what do they need to do after this? All right. We have this, for example, one idiom, you don't have to jump down my throat. Okay. Meaning that you don't have to be angry with me. Okay. So what I ask them to do is sit in the groups, in their own groups, right? They can choose their own groups, right? And then they have to prepare, yeah, sentences or dialogues using the idioms which I've given them. Yeah, okay, so these are the sets of idioms prepared, all right? So they have to be creative enough to come up with a dialogue or a dialogue for a skit, yeah, a short sketch. Okay, these are when they are preparing for the dialogues, discussing and things like that. And of course, they have to discuss in English. Yeah, so the informal speaking session are done. Yeah, okay, you can see that. And then after that comes the presenting part. All right, so creating skits from idioms, this is where they have to present. All right, so based on the idioms that they have, which were given to them, they have to really be very creative. yeah, to come up with one set of skits. Yeah, it doesn't matter what they are going to present, but they need to use all their idioms given. Okay, so that is the first one. Yeah, I prepare the idioms for them. Okay, and the next round, all right, I will give them some tips. Okay, I'll give them some tips. All right, still they will have to use idioms to prepare the dialogue for their skits. Yeah, and this one actually, yeah, of course, we are interrelating the speaking skills, the listening skills, yeah, the reading, of course, yeah, because they need to read up, yeah, before they start writing, because I will give them some time, yeah, they will start writing, getting all the information from the internet, getting from books from the libraries, and then discussing with friends, right? So these all the collaborative work, okay, to come out with a speaking session where they have to share their what do you call that, the little skit. That's it. Yeah, and this one when you can see here in the entry, all right, so I've snapshot of what they have done and always upload in my blog, and then I ask them to comment. Okay, you can always say that I always ask the student to self-reflect, all right, like this. Assalamualaikum, Madam Mas. I'm Amirul. It was such a hard task that you have given me, since I only done tasks like this a few times. Plus, in a short period of time, it was hard. Okay, sorry. Went down this now. Where is it just now? From Amirul. Okay. And you can see that they can always write whatever they want to write. Yeah. Reflective journal. Yeah, reflective journal, meaning that they don't have to bother me. Okay, I always say to them, you don't have to bother me. If you want, I want you to say honestly, very sincerely, you're happy. Are you happy with the activities or the project that we have done? If you're not happy, write it down. Okay, write it down, and then we will make a betterment of that. Yeah, maybe for another round we will do something better based on the students' suggestions. Yeah, so it is a one-to-one. It is a win-win situation. Sorry, it's a win-win situation. I learn something from the student, yeah, based from their reflection, and they learn something from me, yeah. So that's how the teaching and learning goes. And okay, when we talk about this post MCO, where we will always be focusing on the online things, of course, this one can be done as well, right? Just be creative and don't put pressure on yourself thinking that, okay, this is so difficult, you cannot do this. Yeah, stress-free, think creatively, okay, and get lots of information from the other educators, and inshallah, you'll be doing fine with your best practices. Okay.
Thank you, Puan Mas. I think we are going to end our session soon. Before that, let me give you some quick tips
On some of the best practices that needed no much explanation. I think some of this we have been done in our classroom. Let me share with you. Number one is um, you may have, if we give students a written assignment, but because of the low proficiency level, they may be struggle to respond it in English, right? So in that case, what we can do is don't make them just sit there and do nothing. Allow them to write in their first language, because language learners to free write and brainstorming in their first language results in higher quality writing in second language in later stages of the writing process. So if you think that the students unable to write, give them the space to view their point of view in their first language. So from there, they will probably slowly progress to improve their second language writing. Okay, that is one. Apart from that, we always have our chatting groups of course, a WhatsApp group or Telegram group. We put all our students there, and we may share a lot of information about our class, homework, and etc. Why not we use those chatting channels to discuss about a content of the topic? You can do that, right? Because in some situations where students doesn't want to respond when we are teaching in the classroom, we can just ask them to be silent. Okay, silent in the class, open our WhatsApp group, give a topic. Give a topic, ask them to chat with us. Okay, for an example, the impact of pollution. Okay, that's the topic we have already given to them. And ask them just to give whatever comes to their mind. And also they can, on the spot, they can explore from Google engine or etc. to find the point. They can cut and paste and they publish. When during the process, they actually read, understand, and they choose the relevant one and share with us, right or not? Okay, but moreover, if you want to get the students to think critically and to become independent learner, why not we post thought-provoking questions to them related to any current issue. Like now we are talking about this MCO and all that. Okay, we let them to think how it actually impacts the lifestyle of certain group of people. So in this way, they start thinking critically. They try to search for information. Later part, this information or the process they involve during that in answering that thought-provoking question could be helpful when we are doing language-based skills. Could be helpful in their writing, could be helpful in their speaking, and etc. Okay, these are some of the tips that
Uh,
I
I just want to add to that,
yeah,
Mama.
Cornelia, please.
It's true. We give them the thought-provoking kind of questions, but the most important thing I believe, is to put back to the students. They know better how they want to learn. Like for myself, I ask them, if I do it this way, do you think you prefer it this way or you prefer it the other way? So they can give suggestions to me. Teacher, why don't we do it this way, madam? Or they said, okay, madam, we can try to do it this way. So when we are getting the ideas from them, they will be excited about it and they will be involved better than us giving the suggestions. Because I tell you, I tried it with my students. I'm not so good at the beginning with all these online thing or apps and so on. Where do I learn this from? From the students, actually. They were the one who told me, madam, it will be better if you use this way, madam. I said, how can it be better? Are you going to gain out of this? The most important thing, my objective is at the end of the day, it's not me just gaining, but the outcome of the students. How are they going to improve on doing this? And I believe that, I just want to share with the others today that, whatever it is, it'll come back to the students. It'll come back to students. You can do what kind of odd kind of best practices you think that or any other means of teaching, but how do the students receive is very important. Whether they like it or not, that way is very important because different students have different way of learning. Okay, thank you very much, Kumo.
Okay, another technique is parroting technique. Parroting technique may be useful for their listening. You see, students when they are exposed to lots of listening, it may help them in learning the language skill. So parenting skill is ask them to the students to listen to the audio online during the classroom because if you ask them to bring back the work home, they might not be doing it completely 100%. So during the listening activities, instead of giving the text and the question.
Turn on mic, please. Turn on mic.
Okay, right. Okay, so I'm in now. All right, so we are actually towards the end of our session already. Yeah. Um, is very for us, we are very happy that we can share what we have been doing here in College Matrikulasi Kejuruteraan Kedah. And yes, of course, the English unit, we have very good teams with our ketua unit here and the other lecturers, and we always share the innovation or the best practices that we have invented. Okay, and we are very happy that we can share with the audience today. Alhamdulillah, we have 200 and just now it's a full blast, full house, 250. Okay, now it's 228. And you can always contact us if you need any sharing of ideas. Yeah, Madam Kumu, Mr. Azlan is the KU, Madam Rodia, myself, and Madam Mastura, and we have another two lecturers here who are forever willing to share, yeah, whatever we are doing here. All right, so it's 11:54 already. Just to close, to wrap up everything, yeah. Start with the small steps. That is what I always tell to my other students, to my students, and to my other lecturers, my friends, the newcomers, yeah, the new teachers, yeah. Never say no. Never say it's difficult. Okay, just say that emulate those who are good. That's it. Because there are lots of good people here, good educators, superb educators, yeah, excellent educators. All right. So never say no. Yeah. Try and emulate and walk along with those who are very, what do you call that, very diligent, yeah, very hardworking. And inshallah, our focus, of course, because we are educators, our focus actually, of course, for our students. Yeah. So I think that's all from me. Thank you so much. All right. Happy to have you all here with us today. Okay. So Assalamualaikum. Thank you.
Okay. I just like to add
We can have another sessions, with the other groups. Okay, it's important to have these kind of sessions because sometimes we are running out of ideas. So when we see our friends doing, so it gives us some ideas on how we can go along with our problems and so on, solve our problems and so on. So this sharing is very important, and the teamwork among us is very important because we can't walk alone. I think Puan Mas have covered quite a number of things, but for me, I feel that the sharing session is very important. So sometimes we are running out of idea. We just spend 5 minutes thinking about what can we do about this, or how can I improve on this method. So this is how we work here. So we always discuss, spend time to discuss, and sometimes we go out there, we discuss with other teachers, other lecturers, see how is their best practices, and how we can adapt. Adaptation is very important because we need to adapt according to our situations and according to our students. And with the new technologies going on and so on, please, I think all of us willing, to learn, especially myself, the what you can say, the whole group of teachers, so please, we have to be at the same pace with the others in order to make this workable. So with that, thank you very much, and sorry if there's any I said disturbance just now with the technical part, because we are not well versed with this yet. Maybe alhamdulillah, inshallah, in the future we try to foresee all these problems. And thank you so much. I minta maaf if there's anything that I've said might be offended and so on. It's just a sharing. Thank you so much. Hopefully this sharing will benefit all of us. Thank you so much. With that, Assalamualaikum.
I'm sure that dear teachers, viewers, I'm sure that you have had some interesting ideas on plan and conduct lessons and communicating these ideas with students to teach them. For Noria and Puan Ma, thank you for your expertise and your commitment. Okay, your commitment in sharing lots and lots of best practices to our teachers today on multitude of topics, all super useful in the classroom and beyond. So with that, anything to add? So this is the QR code. We have corrected the mistake in the date just now. So this is the QR code. And then time for us to say goodbye. And thank you so much for motivating me throughout for all the support given. And signing out. See you in the other session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all.
Habis dah ke?